Good morning, everyone, and welcome to Viva Cafe con Leche. I am the badass Buddha, Lori Monaco. I am a coach specializing in narcissistic and toxic relationships, narcissistic abuse syndrome, and I'm a mindfulness teacher and I'm a chiropractor and an author and a talk show host, co-host. Welcome to Viva Cafe con Leche.
Welcome. Welcome, Badass Buddha.
Gladiator.
Hola, mi gente. Aquí con la Margarita. In Connecticut, it's kind of gloomy today. I'm trying to see if I can get some sunlight into the house without turning on lights. But yes, welcome Thursday. The Badass Buddha and I are just so full of energy. We're bursting at the seams and we're trying to contain ourselves. And then when you try that hard to contain yourself, it's like you dull that magic. But it's coming. It's coming because that's how we roll.
But you look really good. Look at you. I mean, you're
well, because
we
I'm
both
still
got on.
teaching.
We both got on, and I was like really late, and we both quickly in 1 minute or 30 seconds said we didn't sleep well. But you look good though. Look at you, like you're all bright. You got I love the necklace, and
I bought this in Spain. And yeah,
are they butterflies?
They could be whatever you want them.
Because they look like butterflies.
They're butterflies or flowers.
Yeah,
and that's what I love about it. Yeah. I bought it in a little shop that says Forever April or something like that, or Waiting on April. It was pretty cool. Abril. So yes. So who am I?
Who are you?
I am La Margarita with 3 phenomenal, magical bestie personalities that have been wanting to come out, and I'm bringing them out. I am an author. I am an artist. I'm a poet. I am a storyteller. I am magically orgasmic, mi gente. La Margarita with you this Thursday morning, wearing lime green in a dim kitchen. And we're just so super excited, aren't we?
Your lighting though is you look good. I mean, you really do. You don't look like somebody who's tired. You don't look like somebody who hasn't slept. So, girl, you working good.
My tan, good. Walking in the heat for 7 to 8 hours a day, I really got tan. So I'm trying to take advantage of the tan because I live in Florida and I'm like pale white is crazy. Look at she's glowing. Thank you, Argenis. And so yes, buenos dias, mi gente. Good morning, namaste. The Gladiator Guru is very excited to be here this morning.
Look
and
at
I see
Kathy
that
Kathy chose us over her social media hiatus.
That's what I was just gonna say. I saw that popping up, and my wonderful son-in-law. Thank you for being on today. I know you're really busy.
And good morning, Tiffany Bryan. We're happy to see you.
Tiffany.
Yep, and okay. Oh my God, we are out of it. We're like, okay, what's next? What's the next on our agenda? What are we supposed to do? Oh my God, everybody, take a stretch. It's coming into the weekend. This is our first week of June. Oh my goodness, we are halfway through the year.
I know. It's normally, every month signifies something in everyone's lives. Like sometimes you have the whole calendar year where you have immediate families, birthdays, death days, anniversaries. So you're busy all year trying to figure that out. Then you have it like me, they're sprinkled. And then, so every time a new month begins and something happened or somebody was born, you're like, oh, fuck. For either one, I'm not going to pick sides, right? And I think when I went on this camino, my journey was focused on just really, really handing over to God all my grief, all my guilt, and all my need to feel sad on those days. So not anymore. My dad, in June, this will be 15 years he passed at the end of June. But, I'm just celebrating that he's no longer here dealing with this. and that he's, in my belief system, he's in glory. He's where his spirit was supposed to be, where it came from. He just returned back home. So there's no more sadness. There's no more grief. There's just the fond memories of the moments we did share. And sometimes when we don't have somebody here anymore, we're not so sad that they're gone. We're sad for ourselves that we're missing them. So sometimes we got to check our emotions, because for every beginning, there's an end. And for every end, there is a beginning. And if we remind ourselves of that, and remind ourselves that there is the glory of God, that there is peace and eternal life after this flesh, then we won't feel so down. And that's what I'm working on, mi gente. That's where I went to lay all my burdens and sorrows on the camino. Hola, Milagro, ¿cómo está? Oh, mix. Oh, my brother is on. I'm loving when my familia comes on. I have a great day. Love you. I love you too, Papito. Yeah, so I think we have to welcome everything. Right?
Yes, I agree. I think I need a long journey to walk too. It's interesting how when you're in your environment, sometimes though, depending on your environment, that you get into that space, and what, so I dressed up so quickly today. I'm half liking what I'm wearing, half not. Anyway, you're in your environment, and I think what happens too, though, is that if you're at a place where maybe, and I don't know, see if you agree with me on this, Thaddeus Guru, when you said that you feel like there's no reason to be sad. There's no reason, because now that you're back and you're letting go of stuff, that you're here, you're grateful, there's no reason to be sad. And I think that maybe when we are in our environment and we find those moments that pass us by, that we are sad, or we feel stuck, or we feel unfulfilled. And even if it's not just a moment passing, maybe it's like a hours or even days, that's something within us telling that we need a new direction, that we need to move. Like this can't be sustained any longer. When you're on that path walking, you're free. Your spirit is free to move. And just our conversation yesterday with what you shared with me, which I'm not going to share with everybody, but the gears that are rolling for you, and the things that came up that are, I think it's so perfect for you. I think it's perfect for your mission and your journey. And for me, I think when I was in Costa Rica, I felt that, and I felt invigorated when I got back, and very, what's the word I'm looking for? Motivated.
Excited for life. You were excited.
And then it started to wax and wane again, because it's like you're excited about the potential. You're excited about moving forward. And then you sort of get into a place of the everyday, the mundane things, That's why, in some ways it's phenomenal. It's like, oh my gosh, it's the middle of June. And in other ways it's like, oh my gosh, it's the middle of June. What's different? It's what's different? What have we accomplished? And so maybe this is a good time for us too, including me, to take a moment over the next couple of days and think about what you've accomplished in June. It's in the first 6 months. What have you done within the first 6 months? January, February, March, April, May. And celebrate that. And then also write down some of the things, or acknowledge, you don't have to write it down, but acknowledge things that you didn't quite get done, the marks that you didn't hit. Mm-hmm. And then sort of ask yourself the question, what got in the way? What was the reason that it didn't happen? Maybe it didn't matter anymore, or maybe you just kept pushing it off. But then now for the next 6 months, we want to say, okay, well, if I didn't hit the mark, then this is what I want to do, and make an action plan. Mm-hmm. And those things that you did hit the mark on, you celebrate, you say, what else can I do? Can I add on to this?
I think that we have to always backtrack and always celebrate everything you did do. And yes. No, first is celebrate the fact that you created a list or a plan. Remember, I'm doing my year in in quarters, so every 3 months. So what's this? June, July, August. This will be my what? My second quarter of the year. No.
No, you're ending the second quarter because it goes January, February, March, April, May, June. So
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
July, August, September. In my third quarter, so I made the list of what I want to do. Everything I said I was gonna do the first quarter, I did it. Whether it was having a date to something I wanted to do, not the actual doing, but I did it. And those are the accomplishments we got to celebrate. You know, we'll say, oh, I said that by the end of March, I was supposed to have blah, blah, blah. But I don't have it. But what I do have is a scheduled date, an appointment, or I got the licensing. So you did accomplish, right? You did follow through on what you said you were going to follow through. But we don't see that. So we get upset with the world and we get upset with our surroundings and our environment, but it's your fault. You have to celebrate you so that then everybody else can come out with the balloons and everything. And so now on what quarter am I on? My third quarter, March.
You're gonna get ready to start. You're ending your second. The end of June will be the end of your second.
Okay, so at the end of my third, I'll share one thing that's happening at the end of my third quarter. Y'all know I'm a coffee roaster. For those who ordered coffee, remember in the May special, I said that the coffees would be done in June. We're June 2nd. So I'm just waiting on some coffee beans to come from Puerto Rico. Not my organic specialty one, but my specialty homegrown in the mountains of Adjuntas coffee beans. So I'm waiting on that. And then as soon as I roast, the following day I ship. So, and if I'm really roasting all of the Connecticut ones.
What did you say? The following day you ship?
I ship.
Oh, okay. One word.
So
one
anyway, so the end of my quarter in September, I'm actually going to be as a coffee roaster. Because I chose to learn everything so I could know what the hell I'm talking about. I will be picking coffee beans off the branches on the mountain of Sanja's Farms in Adjuntas, Puerto Rico.
Isn't that cool?
I will be learning the whole process because they're gonna teach me. You know, I know it takes 5 years for one coffee bean plant I produce a bean, but to do all of that. And I'm saying, why would I want to do that? I could just buy the coffee. I could do this because it will enrich my life. I love seeking knowledge. I love knowing things, right? Remember my post, I drink naturally Orgasmic Cafe and I know things. Try it. So what I'm saying is this those little celebrations. Like, yeah, it's going to cost me an airline ticket to go and to come back and to stay at the Airbnb at the tip of the mountain. But look at the wealth of information it's gonna make me feel good. It's like those people who go out and spend $1,500 on a Gucci bag. That makes them feel good. That doesn't do shit for me. Right. But to know that that I'm actually working the process of something, that makes me feel like a millionaire. So you know what? Celebrate those little things. You know, Badass Buddha says she didn't sleep well. I didn't sleep well. I walked all through Portugal and into Spain and not one foot spasm. And here I've been up all night with cramps. But look, she got up, she got dressed, she washed her face, she put her lipstick on, and she showed up right when we had to be on. Those are celebrations. Let's not focus that she couldn't sleep. You know what? I woke up, I almost missed it, but I woke up on time because I'm that badass. And those are the moments we celebrate. Those are the things we give grace for, that we're grateful for, that we have the ability to move our bodies in that quickness, and our thoughts will follow, and we get every shit done at the time we're supposed to. Celebrate those little accomplishments because you know what? They stack up. And I'm done speaking.
And this is good too because today's show is a stroke of abundance with Elaine Starling.
You're gonna love her.
This is going to be a really good conversation because in order to have abundance, you have to think abundantly. You have to live a life of abundance, and sometimes it's not easy when you're frustrated and you're in an environment or not doing the thing that you really want to do, and and you get into that opposite mindset of scarcity and lack. And then you put all your energy there, and attention, energy flows where attention goes. And so if your attention is on the lack and what you don't have and the misery, that's where it will go. And that's the way universe, the divine God works. So we're going to be very inspired today with Elaine's conversation. So let's get set our intention. We'll do our mantra quickly, and we'll get Elaine up here. So intention for today, as usual on Viva, is to be intentional and
to live in gratitude, be grateful.
So whatever your intention is, set it for today and be grateful. Our mantra, here we go. Get ready. Repeat after me. I am a disruptor.
I am a disruptor.
I am unapologetically courageous.
I am unapologetically courageous.
I am spiritually grounded.
I am spiritually grounded.
I am magically orgasmic.
Ole.
And I am beyond authentic.
And I keep it as real as I can be.
All right. I can't believe as tired as I am, I can't believe I actually remembered it in order. All right.
We have a lot of people on saying something. It's on my computer. I can't scroll down.
Well, we have Kathy was given hearts. She says she likes to write things down. 3 months. She said she likes that idea. She said lots of energy moving last night. Nancy Green, good morning. Hey, Lillian's on. Good morning, Lillian.
Buenos dias. Yes. I thought I saw Carmen.
Yep, Carmen Nieves. Good morning. And we said good morning to Milagros. So
and Iritza.
Yep, Iritza's on. So okay, so here's our guest. An international TEDx speaker, best-selling author, coach, and mentor. Elaine Starling is recognized for her video show and podcast, The Abundance Journey. After a comprehensive conversation with our higher power during a stroke, Elaine created the Abundance Journey 6-week course to share what she learned. As the Abundance Ambassador, I love that. Elaine mentors spiritual growth-oriented women to align with divine guidance to achieve their dreams. Elaine's clients experience more clarity, confidence, and commit to action that achieves their goals. So here we go. There she is. Hello.
I mute myself. Good morning. It's so great to be here. And frankly, I stole some of your energy. Sorry. I'm on the West Coast, so it's 5 a.m. for me. And yeah, there is a ton of energy moving. I've been so excited to chat with you guys because you are the real deal. You bring your hearts and soul to the table, and you show up as such a shining light for others.
Mm-hmm. Thank you. No, you know what? Thanks. I needed that. And listen, just the fact that you reminded me your West Coast. Yeah. I'm picking myself up because, we always say this. We always say our West Coast people, right, Gladiator Guru? They come on. They always go, oh, it's 5 a.m. I'm going to have to do, okay, before they come on. And then they come on and they always look better than we do. They are always So thank you for that, Elaine. Thank you for the boost. And thank you for that compliment. That was just phenomenal. Thank you. Appreciate that.
You guys are awesome. And I love what you're doing. I love what you stand for. I love how you show up in the world. And it's really important the way you show up. Is it okay if I share something?
You got the floor, honey.
I found really transformational.
We can't wait to hear what you're
saying. Okay, well, I think a lot of people don't realize just how incredibly powerful they are. And I want you to understand the difference that you make just because you're on the planet today, just because you exist. And this is not what I believe. This is what some social scientists published, in the book called Connected, The Surprising Power of Our Social Networks and How They Shape Our Lives. Fascinating book, really fascinating book. So in this book, they talk about something called the 3 degrees of influence rule. It turns out that you not only have influence over your friends. If you imagine a bullseye and you're the center of the bullseye, the first ring is your friends. But you also have influence over your friends' friends. 3 levels away from you. Friends, okay? And you're at the center of the bullseye. It turns out that every single thing you think, feel, say, or do ripples out 3 levels away from you. I was like, wow, that's a really interesting concept. And it's proven by scientists. I mean, I I don't make this stuff up, right? So how powerful is this? What does that really mean? Because, how many people do you know, right? I wanted to, what's the impact? So I asked Dr. Google, and she told me that there was a study published in the New York Times that said the average American knows about 600 people. And I was like, really? That seems really high. And I spoke to some other friends. They're like, oh, no, that's so low. I'm like, okay, well, I didn't do the math. So what do I know? So fine, I'll just go with a number. They know better than I do. So if that's true, and you're at the center of the bullseye, and on average, you know about 600 people. Well, every single one of those 600 people knows 600 people. That's 360,000 people. And every single one of those 360,000 people knows 600 people. That's 217 million. You have influence over 217 million, 360,000, 600 people. And that's because you show up before you get on social media. That's how powerful you are. So in the book, they also talk about just how significant that impact is. And it turns out when you're having a good day and you're happy and you're upbeat and you're excited and you're passionate, there's a 15% higher likelihood that someone in your first ring is going to be equally happy and excited and passionate. And when you show up in that space, the second ring out, 10% more likely to be happy, excited, and passionate. And people on the third ring are 6% more likely to be happy, excited, and passionate. So trust me, the way you show up makes a difference. Who you are being. And that's why I was so excited to join you this morning, because who you guys are being is magic.
No, you just love
magic.
Elaine is so fabulous.
It really is. You're absolutely correct. Thank you for acknowledging that, because it's true. And the rings is absolutely true. And that's what I'm saying. We don't celebrate ourselves enough to be that bullseye, to know that there's 3 rings away from us of people that watch us and listen to us and just see us. And if they see you, a smile can save a life. And I think that's what the energy we have to put out. I say hi to everybody. I don't care who says hi back. Like before, people are like, why do you keep saying hi to people that don't say hi back? I said, because I don't sell my hellos. I need to feel the vibration flowing through my spirit to come out in a hello, because that's me gifting from the heart. So if they receive it or not, you know what? They're probably not going to show me at that moment, but people do receive it. They just don't know. Like, they're surprised. When you hold the door open for somebody, they don't have to say thank you. They did not ask you to hold the door open. And what happens? We do a good deed by holding the door open, and then we mess it up. Oh, can't even say thank you.
Oh, God, I can't see.
So I'm just saying, you're absolutely right. That 3 rings of people, of sharing that positivity, of spreading that message of love, is do things without expectations.
Actually, it's that sharing, though. You know what you got me thinking, Elaine, is that the ripples are the ripples. So if it's positivity you're sharing, it's great, but it's also the negativity. So, and we live in such a world where you can't go anywhere without turning on the TV, and we have so much negativity that you're making me really, like, you're definitely shifting me. You're definitely good at your job.
Well, the other thing I wanted to point out, the other thing that's really fascinating in the book Connected, they say that the negative stuff is harder to spread than the positive stuff. And think about it this way. When somebody's a real Debbie Downer, how much time do you really want to spend with them? Right? We all have our issues. We all have stuff that we're struggling with. So when we're exposed to people who bring us down, we back away. It's like, I don't want to deal with that. I got my own stuff to deal with. But when somebody's positive and upbeat and encouraging, we lean in because we need that. So when you're positive, you have a much stronger impact. And when you're negative, remember, you're connected to 217,360,600 people. Hello? And they've got some good energy going. Somebody in there is happy today, even if you're not. So suck it up, connect with your energy, bring that in and live from that space. Borrow it if you can't be it.
Listen, can you share your story with everybody, because it is so inspirational, and again, it's you're already just bringing the energy up here. So I'm really grateful because God knows my energy was not good this morning. So thank you. But
Yes.
yeah, tell everybody your story because it's just fantastic.
Sure. So I'm an entrepreneur and I was struggling in my business, and I had a conversation with my husband on my birthday in early December and said, I can't figure out what to change, what to shift. So forget it. I'm just going to deal with the status quo. I'm going to stop thrashing. I feel blessed in so many different ways. It feels unreasonable. I feel greedy for wanting something different. So I'm just going to deal with the status quo. So a month later, on vacation in New Zealand on New Year's Day 2005, I have a stroke. And I'm totally blessed to have this stroke because during my stroke, I had a conversation with our higher power.
And you were how old, Elaine? You were how old?
43. I was 43.
43 years old.
Yeah. And during this stroke, I got answers to how everything works and why we are here alive on this planet and what we're supposed to be doing while we're alive on this planet, how we can live our optimal lives and what happens next after this life. And I just want to reassure everyone, because you were chatting a little bit earlier, Margarita, about loved ones who have passed on. And I was shown that it is truly a continuation. The best analogy I've been able to come up with, it's kind of like the difference between kindergarten and first grade. Now, I'm only familiar with my own kindergarten experience. I wasn't blessed with children, but in kindergarten, you have nap time. In first grade, there's no more nap time. Well, when you're physical, you have a body. And when you're not physical, you don't have a body. But there's a whole lot more. You're still there. There's so much going on, and you're very vibrant, and you're learning and expanding and growing. And it's all good. And yes, you do still connect with your loved ones. And every time you think of them, they are with you in spirit. And so the best thing you can do when you're feeling them and you're missing them a little bit is send them love and blessings and gratitude that they were in your life and that you shared some incredible experiences with them. Thank them, which is a powerful prayer. Thank them and say goodbye for now, because they're always with you. They are angels with you, and they're constantly sending you blessings. But often we're busy and distracted and we just don't notice them. Yeah. My dad always makes room for me to merge onto the freeway. He was very worried about me driving. I'm a good driver, but Dad always stressed about me merging on the freeway. He clears the space for me. And I always say, thanks, Dad. I really appreciate that. That's how he chooses to show up. So pay attention to what's happening. They are sending you blessings.
Oh, yeah, all the time.
Yeah.
I say that too. Gracias, papi. Grazie, mama. That's how I speak to them.
I love that.
Mm-hmm.
That's beautiful. So talk to us about abundance. Like we've talked about this before, but we can never hear it enough because we have to be reminded. So why is it so important for us to focus on abundance as opposed to, because we have to show both sides, and why is it too that so many people do focus so much more on scarcity and lack mindset?
Yeah. And one of the things that I wanted to share, because I go into it in some detail in my TED Talk, and I'm really excited because my TED Talk now has over 107,000 views.
Oh my God, that's so cool.
I know. And my TED Talk is called Abundance is a Choice. So you can go into YouTube and you can type in Elaine Starling TEDx or Abundance is a Choice, and you'll see the video pop up. And me with the short hair and the blue jacket. But the key thing about abundance is it really has to do with your mindset. And remember, we talked about those 3 ripples that you create through what you think, feel, say, and do. And that's why it's so important for you to think a little bit about what you're saying and the words that you're using. Now, my experience was absolutely magical during my stroke. I felt like I was in a Niagara Falls of love and joy and delight and wonder. It was just amazing. And I got some incredible insights. So I came out of the stroke with no damage, none at all, been checked out by doctors here in Stanford, and they can't tell that anything happened. But when the divine wants to have a conversation with you, trust me, the divine will have a conversation with you. And it was such an awesome conversation. I wanted more. So I started studying, how do I get back in the zone? How do I connect, And they all say, allow. You just have to allow the connect. You have to allow the information in. Thank you so much for sharing that link. Yeah. And so I tried allowing. I was allowing my little heart out, but instead of Niagara Falls, it felt kind of like a partially plugged up watering can. Grip. Really good, It was like
you're like holding your hand like this, going, "Come on!" And it's like
I got my tongue out. It was like, oh, that's so good. I'm dying of thirst here. I want more. So finally, I was like, okay, this allowing thing is not working for me. What's going on? And I immediately got the message. What does the word allowing look like to you? What's the image that comes to mind when you think of the word allowing? And for me, I immediately saw myself behind a door with a chain on the door, and I was peeking out the door at the divine, and I was anxious. I'm like, I have my hand on the door so I can slam it shut if I get too overwhelmed. And I realized that's my mind, because the divine is so expansive and so broad. It's way more than my mind can understand. So of course my mind's really anxious about it. So I'm like, okay, obviously the word allow is a mind word for me. It doesn't work for me. So what would be a word that would really represent the kind of relationship that I want to have with the divine? Welcoming. I stopped trying to allow the divine, and now I welcome the divine. I took the door off the hinges and tossed it away, because I don't need the door. I don't need a barrier. I don't need to understand anything. I don't have to control anything. I can welcome the divine and know that the perfect opportunities and people will show up in my life.
Yes.
So that made a huge difference. The words you use, and we are often very unaware of the words that we use in our minds. And it makes such a huge difference. Really does.
Everything, I think that, I can even top what you said. I'm still trying to feel what you said, because you said something earlier, and it's something that I teach. I teach about being one with the five senses, and you put it in what you said, and you sewed it into that tapestry so beautiful that I was like, oh. And I think we need to speak more on that. When we can see, regardless, positive, negative, when we can see, when we can smell, when we can taste it, when we can touch it, when we can feel it, we are one with the divine, because those are our gifts. Now, people who can't see, they're phenomenal in hearing and smelling. So the gifts are never taken, they're amplified. Mm-hmm. So if you feel you've been cheated because you can't see or hear, you have a certain set of gifts that I don't have. But we don't tune into all of that. Can you imagine if we all turned into our five senses?
Really powerful. Really powerful.
And I try to share that with as much people. And I love the way you said it. That's why I was like this, loving myself. Because every morning after I give gratitude to my God for getting me up today and asking him, I say, I surrender, you lead, I shall follow. That's my morning prayer before my feet touch the ground. I'm giving thanks. And then I give thanks to me. And I go, good morning, Margarita. I love you.
That's wonderful.
Why? Because this body has carried me throughout my life, through everything. So it was abused when I was molested and raped. It was abused. But this amount of time of the life of my body, it has been bullied by me. So no more. Now I teach, love your body where it is at right now. It doesn't matter if you have the shape of the guitar with missing strings, right? The missing strings are the little pot belly, the little muffin top or whatever. Love it. Why? Because we are given assignments in this life. Yours was the abundance.
Yeah.
You suffered what you suffered, but was it really suffering? Because it's like you were reborn. The assignments placed upon our lives are not negative or positive. They're assignments, and follow through, because God is watching. God chose you. It is your purpose.
I want to expand on that just a little bit, because one of the key messages that I received is why we are here.
Mm-hmm.
And if you stop and think about it, from the divine perspective, from the God perspective, everything is love. Everything is fine. It doesn't matter if there's a disaster. There's a much bigger, broader perspective that sees the love in everything. Now, there's a little challenge for the divine with that perspective. It's really hard to grow when you see the love in everything. So they invented us. They needed a being that could see that there are good stuff and bad stuff and make judgments about things.
Mm-hmm.
Because with the ability to make judgments about things, we are given a superpower called choice. We choose what our intention is, and we choose where our attention is.
Say that again. Say that again for the people in the back.
Yeah, we choose our intention, how we want to feel, and we choose our attention, what we're going to focus on. Okay? That's what my TEDx talk is all about. Because those are the two things that create your mindset. And it's a choice. It is a deliberate choice that you make. And the key thing to remember is that you are designed to empower the divine to flow through you. So when you show up with more love in the moment, even if other people are not there, even if they can't be love in the moment, you can. It's a choice you make to be love right now. Create that platform, that safe space, so that if they choose, if they're ready, if they're courageous enough, they can be love also. But you will find that most people are so starved for love and they don't love themselves that they are just soaking it up from you. They're like a sponge trying to absorb as much as they can. And finally, eventually, they will get to a space where they can reflect it back. But by you being that love, and it never ends, it is an unending access to love, because you are the conduit for divine love. It comes into your mind, flows into your heart. That's the second time you experience it. And then you share it with others. Third time, you get it 3 times before it's reflected back to you. And so often we ignore that. And we're like, yeah, but where's the love for me? You know, show me the abundance. Show me, I want my stuff, right? Be the abundance you are looking for. That is the fastest way for it to show up in your environment. What we see in the world is a reflection of what is unseen in ourselves. It's a reflection of who we are being.
I love that. Nancy Green asked, what is your TikTok name?
I don't have a TikTok account. I'm so behind the times. Sorry.
And Arlene Kelly says, every negative thing in my life has brought a positive because I let it. Absolutely. You know, because what is God? You know, God, Elohim, El Shaddai, Yahweh, Jah. He gave us free will. That's how we are able to make a choice. So we must be grateful to something bigger than us, something beyond us that has always showered light upon us. We place ourselves in the darkness. You know, we're locked in that cell with the gate door wide open.
Yep.
Right? Because if your intention is to be free, then pay attention to the unlocked doors. And if it's unlocked, kick that bitch in. Because you have every right to live the life that you were born to live. Nobody stops you from being who you were meant to be but yourself. So I love this. Intention, attention. I'll continue. I'm sorry.
No. That's the real secret, is what is your intention? And I like to call my shots from the beginning. I love the way you set the intention before the show starts. Brilliant.
We are fantabulous, aren't we?
And I encourage you, when you are running late and when you're feeling a little relaxed in the morning, to say, great, I am the perfect platform for the divine to show up through me as me, because I'm getting myself out of the way. Sometimes when I'm on, my brain is trying to take over. And that doesn't really serve me. What serves me is to be that conduit for the divine. That was another thing that I was shown. I thought it was really interesting. Scientists have discovered there's a whole lot of empty space inside atoms. In fact, if you were to take the core of the atom, it would, and imagine it's about the size of a peanut, the entire atom would be the size of a huge baseball stadium with all the parking lots. Okay, it's huge. And the electrons and positrons, they're bouncing around in all that empty space. Yeah, it's not empty space. That's where the divine is. Okay. And they also discovered if you were to take all that empty space out of the human body, which has trillions of atoms, what would remain would be smaller than a speck of dust. There's that much empty space inside our bodies. And how interesting that tiny little speck of dust is busy going, but I'm in charge. I'm responsible for everything. I have to understand everything. I need to make it all happen. Yeah, not so much. Not so much.
Yes.
I think you're the divine this morning. Like the divine is definitely coming through you this morning. Like it was, I can't believe the shift in my energy just having you on this. Oh my God. Like,
well, yeah, you know, there's a saying, and a lot of people are afraid to. I'm not afraid to talk about God with anybody. And I believe let go and let God. And sometimes when we are confused and we're all trying to make a decision, we twist ourselves up like a salty pretzel. We're the only ones who do that. And if you do believe in something bigger than you, then believe in it and allow it to send you back the messages you need. Allow it to zap your energy up and alert and ready to move or ready to relax. Because be ready to either sit still or be ready to dance a salsa. But you have to be wanting of it. That's the choice of intention towards attention. You know, sometimes we need to be awakened to realize I'm here. So yes, let go and let God. And if you can't do that, then practice.
Well, that was the other thing that I was shown also. You know, those feelings, those times when you just feel like, I'm not enough, I'm not good enough, I can't figure this out, you know, it's all on me. Any pain or discomfort of any kind, it can be mental, emotional, physical. That is the divine tapping you on the shoulder going, sweetheart, honey bunch, we are in partnership. Okay. I am your ally. I'm right here. Anytime you're ready, just let me know, turn on the spigot. Here I am. Okay. It's not all on you. You're the speck of dust and I flow through you as you to enrich everyone around you. That was one of the other messages. It's not so much about you. It is through you. So the better you are at just stepping out and being real, be the authentic you that you are, your unique opinions, ideas, suggestions, priorities, even your hot buttons, even your faults and your foibles, that's all deliberately designed because you are perfect due to your imperfections. You help ignite the love on the planet. And the more you can show up as love and allow yourself to get out of the way, not have all the answers, but be there and be present and hold the space, the answers show up for you. Mm-hmm. You don't have to be in charge. You really don't. It's great to have a direction, you know, and take action, but allow yourself to be guided because you are all the time.
Well,
thanks.
That's the key word, allow. A lot of people don't allow. You know, God is in. I am because he is.
Yeah.
But it's a free will. You have to choose to let him in. He is a gentleman. So he's not going to flow through you if you're blocking all the entrances. You have to be open to receive his divine love, his guidance, his light, and his mercy. So I think once you make that decision to accept that he is there and that he will flow through, and all we got to do is listen and accept and believe, then but again, it is up to us to invite him in because he will not, but he will not intrude. So he's there waiting, but free will, we have to accept him and invite him in and say, Father God, please help me, because that's my prayer. He's like, oh my God, Margie again. He's always showing up. But I always invite him in.
my experience of the divine, they are effervescent joy. Just over the top, happy, excited, delighted, full of joy and wonder, and just they're so high energy. I'm like, okay, chill. Could you guys bring it down a notch? Because can't quite receive when you're that off the wall. But when you can show up and be happy and joyful and playful and silly and ridiculous, that's when the divine is really present and really flowing through you, because you're not worried about how you show up and what people think and da-da-da. You're just there. You're just enjoying life and being you. And there's a really great book out there. It's a very short read. It's very fun, very playful. It's called Hiring the Heavens. And what you do is you hire angels. Angels will work for you, but you have to speak to them out loud. You have to tell them what you want. So this woman explains how she hires the heavens. She hires angels. She puts together angel committees. So when she's traveling, like when you're going to be going to pick the coffee beans, you hire an angel committee and you're like, okay, I want a concierge. So you're going to make sure that my flights are great and that the hotel accommodations are perfect and all my luggage arrives the way it's supposed to. And I want to have some entertainment angels. So I'm going to meet some really great people, make some awesome connections, and I want... and you just say, hey, angels, this is what I need. I need help with my copywriting. I need some new clients. Please bring in the perfect right people for me. I'm sending them love and blessings right now. Yeah. So you hire the heavens and they're dirt cheap. They work for thank yous. Thank you is one of the most powerful prayers you can ever use. It drives me nuts.
I have a question for you though, Elaine. When you refer to they, who are you speaking about?
I'm speaking about the divine. I'm speaking about God. And to me, it is multiple entities because we are all an expression of God and we each have a unique soul. And so we in our soul form are added together. We are the higher being, the higher power. And there are different levels of growth and different levels of awareness. And so you may be thinking of the highest level of awareness and understanding. And think about it this way. You're always growing, right? You're always changing. You're always learning. You get that from somewhere. You inherited that trait. The divine is also always learning and growing and expanding and becoming and creating. You are creating in every moment with every thought, with every feeling that you have. And I also wanted to activate everyone's intuition this morning. Is that all right?
Sure.
Awesome. You have a magic wand. You didn't know this, but you do. You've got 3 different brains. You've got the one between your ears, you've got the one in your heart, and you've got the one in your gut. Okay. The gut brain is very simple. It says yes or no, right? You can, there are times when someone would say, would you like to have some of this? And your gut's going, oh, no, really.
It'll say my mouth loves it, but my gut doesn't.
Yeah. So we've all had that experience, right? That immediate reaction. Your heart is either opened by it or closed by it. It's either softened or hardened. And that's kind of the message of the heart. Does this require me to open my heart more? Does this require me to soften my heart? If it does, that's the right direction. If it isolates me, if it shuts me down, that's the wrong direction. It's like a game of warmer and colder, really, for the heart and for the gut. And then the mind is a tricky little animal. I'm into books. I read books a lot. And there's another one I want to share with you guys, Strength Finder 2.0. Love this book. It's a business book. So when you get the book, you have to get a brand new copy. And in the back of the book, there's a unique code. And you go online and you do this survey. And you say, I'm a little more like this or I'm a little more like that. And both things are really great. And you want to say, but I have both of those traits. But you can't. And it's timed. So you can't just dither. You have to go, yeah, I'm a little more of this, I'm a little more of that. And then when you're done, you find out your top 5 strengths. Well, most of the book is dedicated to how to take advantage of your strengths at work and at home and how to really live from a strength-filled place. But the part that really made a huge aha for me was a section in the book, early on in the book, where they talk about different kinds of managers and what kind of manager you have. And it turns out if you have a manager who's gone all the time, who ignores you, they're traveling, they don't pay attention to you, there's about a 40% chance that you're going to be disenfranchised and miserable at your job. You're just going to hate it. If you've got a manager who picks on you all the time, who criticizes you and chastises you and beats you up, there's a 22% chance that you'll be disenfranchised and miserable at work. Isn't that interesting? You'd rather be picked on than be ignored. How fascinating is that? But if you have a manager who focuses on your strengths, takes away the things that you're not so good at, sets you up to win, there's only a 1% chance that you will be disenfranchised and miserable at work. And I got the biggest aha when I saw these numbers, because every single one of us has a manager that sits between your left ear and your right ear and is talking to you 24/7, 365. What kind of manager do you have? This is where choice comes in, because you get to train your mind. You get to let it know, is this supporting me? Is this empowering me? Is this focusing on my strengths? Is this uplifting me? If it's not, we're going in the wrong direction. That's not serving me. So those are the 3 minds that are your magic wand. And when you really focus on the gut and the heart, that's your intuition. Because the mind can often try to lead you astray because it wants to understand everything and control everything and be in charge of everything. And it's not. The divine is. And you're given problems to remind you you're not in charge. It happens through you. It's not about you. It happens through you. Be there.
That's a great analogy. You have the mind, the heart, the gut. You have the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. It always trails back to the Holy Trinity.
Yeah.
Past, present, future.
Yep.
Life, death, rebirth. People forget that. So your analogy of the mind, the heart, and the gut, it does take you back to the divine, to God, to the holy, because it is exactly that. And that's what it takes. It's always 3. So thank you for that.
It is, and it's true, because you're what you're basically saying is that we can't just listen to one or the other, or they all have to communicate. And so, like Gladiator Guru was saying, is the trilogy. And so because how often do we do that? Our gut is saying one thing, we ignore it, then it goes up to another place and we ignore that, and then we try to figure it out through the brain and make it work. And then that's where the struggle comes into play, because and again, I really can't even tell you how spot on it is to hear you this morning, because we always have to be reminded of this, even for the best of us, where we know this and we teach it. We have those moments where we go back and we second guess, or we just get tired, or we get lazy, or whatever the reason, and we just get disillusioned, not purposefully. Sometimes it just slides in. We let something else slide in and get in the way of that divine conversation that's going on in our head, instead of trusting in the process, having faith, and just taking pause to connect. And so, because the mind it chatters so much that it's like, you ever go somewhere and somebody's talking in the background and you're trying to concentrate and they keep asking you, they're either talking to you or they're talking to somebody else, but you're focusing and you're finally like, shit, like I can't, stop talking. Like my children will do that to me. Like I'll be working on something, or I'll be working something because I work from home, and they'll come in and they'll start talking to me, and they'll be talking and they're talking, and I'm like, wait, just hold on a second. Let me just finish this. And I'll start, and then they'll keep talking. I'll be like, oh my God, please stop. Like stop. Because I can't focus, right? But that's literally how we live without thinking of it that way, that we have this constant chatter, and we just need to stop. Because sometimes I think, especially for me, the divine does this, like God does this. Okay, I'm just gonna wait till you stop talking. Like, keep talking. I will speak when you shut up, you know? And man, I'm going to tell you, he, they, she, I don't care what the God is. They've been sitting there a while sometimes waiting for me to shut the hell up because I just refuse to shut up because I know better. I'm going to figure this out. And it's like, you know, like just any day now. You know,
I love sitting for guidance. I absolutely love it. Just getting into that state of grace and appreciating. One of my favorite things to do is to send a prayer to divine. I'll say infinite love and blessings to you, divine. Infinite love and blessings to you, God. Because we're always asking for something. I'd like to give first, because when I give first, then the ideas come through. So I always infinite love and blessings to you, divine. And then I'll ask a question and I just sit and wait patiently and let whatever ideas come into my mind, whatever imagery comes into my mind, it's part of the message. And I just start writing it down. And sometimes the meaning comes later. And that's okay. There's always a message in there for me. There's always love in every moment, in every situation. And it's kind of like we're playing a scavenger hunt game. Find the love in the moment and be the love in the moment. There's always something in this moment for you. Always.
But we choose to be focused. Yeah, it's I get it. I get it. I think, you know, whenever I start my conversation with God, I always approach him in a manner of love and gratitude. And sometimes my conversations are, I'm not here to ask for anything. I'm here to say thank you for walking with me, for walking ahead of me, for walking beside me, and for protecting me from behind. Thank you. Gracias. For today, I had a great day and I learned a lot of things. And that's my conversation with him. And some days I'm like, oh, Maron, listen. So this and this and that. And then I sit. I pray. I ask. I give thanks every night. And then in the morning when I'm doing my yoga, I sit and I listen. And that's where I always tell him, I surrender. Lead the way, I shall follow. Because I obviously ain't getting it right. I know. Or sometimes I tell him, you must have been cracking up today with all the plans I wrote down. And that's my infinite love towards my beloved.
Yeah.
Okay, so it is. You do have to give thanks and you do have to be appreciative. And you know what? I know I make him laugh. So, and that's the relationship that I have. I love love. Love is too huge for humans to understand. See, we want to think as big as the divine, but we are humans and we can feel, but we it's a constant learning thing. And I think that when you have love and you do the best you can with what you have, then you're a superstar. But be love and be the light. Be that lighthouse with that beam out to the people. That's your love. That's your protection. That's you saying, it's okay, I'm here. So yeah,
that's wonderful. I wanted to pick up on something that
I just want to say, like what Yritza wrote, one of the tribe members, and that's what I had learned on my Camino. What was let go and let God. Beautiful.
That's really beautiful. I wanted to pick up on something that Lori said, and I know we're running out of time, but Lori, you were talking about how it goes through cycles. And yeah, you're absolutely right. It does go through cycles, and you'll be on a high and then you kind of hit a low. And that's because this is another opportunity for you to expand love. That's all that means. So every time you hit a low, I want you to think, awesome, I graduated. Hot damn, I'm being given a new opportunity, even more love in this moment. I'm being challenged. I'm being inspired. I'm being uplifted. This is my opportunity to shine and grow even more. And the blessings will come even faster. Okay, it's a mental shift. You have to choose how you think about things. Choose what it means for you and choose a meaning that feels good in the heart and good in the gut. That expands the love every time.
It does. Just visualize that wind-up toy, that little girl, boy wind-up toy, but you're positioning it to constantly hit the wall. So it just turns around, and then you have to move it again. but you keep positioning it towards that wall. And I think that's what happens. It's that wake-up call to say, okay, obviously I'm doing something wrong. Which direction am I supposed to go in? Or go within. All of our answers, all of our unconditional love, all of our understanding is within. Seek within. That is your best place of information. That is the best, well-written and read book that you can possibly possess, is what you already are. So seek it and then live it.
Beautiful. That was so beautiful. I really love that.
No, I can't wait to go on Elaine Starling. I'm gonna stalk you.
Awesome.
You took a word that somebody would have found ugly and you made it beautiful. I said a word and you chose it to be beautiful. Thank you. Because it is.
Excellent.
Thank you. I really, we had so many phenomenal pieces of wisdom this morning that we all shared, like, what I too, I have that visual. I know we're over the time, but like, even what you said, Gladiator Guru, that was really powerful for me, was the visual of sitting in the jail cell and the doors wide open. And I'm just sitting there going, yeah, I'm not going to walk out.
I can't go. I'm trapped.
Wide open. And it's like, and nobody's in around. And it's like, no, I'm just going to stay here. And so many of us do that. So many of us just will, like, well, they're going to come back. So I don't want them to see me leave. I don't want to get in trouble. I'm just going to sit here. And it's wide open. And you know what it reminds me of? And I just want to leave it with this. So, and it's just the visual of it, but it's kind of interesting. So when we're in terms of food, they, the way we market food, it's very interesting. So you see the things where it says free range for chicken eggs and cage free. So they tote cage free. Oh, this is really good. It's cage free. Cage free only means that they open the doors of the cages in these very large vats of chicken coops. They only open the doors for like 2 hours a day, but by the USDA standards, that's cage free. So what they do is they open them up and they are allowed to roam, and they can advertise this. They say our chickens are not kept in the cage all day. They are allowed to roam. But they only open the cage after a certain age. So the first few weeks or a couple of weeks, they're only in the cages. And then they open the doors. They're terrified to come out.
Right.
So they don't even walk out. Even though the doors are wide open, they don't know what's out there because they weren't used to it. So they get to advertise it, but it's not actually accurate. So we look at it going, oh, well, they're humane. They're not kept in those little things. But that, if you think about it, that's how we are. We condition ourselves to be less trusting, less like not wanting to trust in the process because we've been burned, because these bad things happen. How do we know that that's going to happen again? When we're constantly given chances from the divine to try. Maybe the reason we got burned the last time is because that was the divine's way of saying, this is not the direction you need to go.
It's not for you.
So please, go in a different direction. And then we took it as, oh, I can't go. And I'm not just saying it like it's somebody else. I'm saying it like, me too. Like, I have to remind myself whenever I feel that way. So this was so up my alley. And I really hope that this gets reshared for everybody, like reshare. And because there's so many juicy tidbits in here. And please check out Elaine's YouTube video. Get her even higher with those views. Over 103,000 views, and it was just released this year. So your first 6 months, damn, Elaine.
Yeah, it came out in early March. I did it in early December, but it wasn't published until early March.
Look at that.
And since then, 107,000 views.
That's
170,000. 170,000, yeah.
Yeah.
I can't get the number right. But one thing that I just really want to make sure that people take away from our conversation today, and it's such an important message that I want you to own. You are a blessing. Mm-hmm. You are a massive blessing.
Yeah.
And You are blessed.
Yep.
You have to welcome it in, allow it in, and the blessings are right there for you with every sense. And I love what you were talking about, Gladiator Guru. Use all of your senses to notice the blessings that are around you. And gratitude. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Yes.
Brings even more blessings.
Yeah.
Thank you, Elaine and Gladiator Guru, for a phenomenal. Really, this was really. I needed it this morning, and I'm not the only one. I mean, look at how many people are saying that they needed it this morning. Lissy, she says it. You know, Kathy, beautiful wisdom. Arlene, thank you so much for this. I got so much out of this today. If you got so much out of this today, please, I'm serious, share it. You know, and if you want, watch it again, and then jot down the times where there was really good information, and then tell people, listen, if you don't want to listen to the whole thing, listen at these times because you need to hear this, or I need to hear this again. So yeah, this was great. Thank you. And thank you for staying on.
Yes. Thank you for being up so early for us.
Look at Nancy's like, come back on, Elaine. Great. All right. Well, thank you. Any last tidbit, Elaine, before we close out?
I'm very grateful to both of you. You are such amazing lights, and I'm so inspired by all that you do. And I can't wait to have you on the Abundance Journey podcast and video show, because you are spreading abundance like crazy. Abundance is an emotion first. Abundance is how you show up first, and then you notice the abundance in every aspect of your life. So be the abundance that you're looking for.
That's so phenomenal. You know, you were definitely a blessing today. God definitely brought you. There's no coincidences, you know.
No,
and,
none at all.
Yeah,
and God likes us to have conversation.
Oh yeah.
He loves us to include us in our to include him in our conversation, because that's more like a light beam for the rest of the day. You know, that's the gratitude to say, Father God, come in.
Yeah.
So, yes. So with that, badass.
So today's Thursday. So everybody have an absolutely beautiful weekend. We thank you so much for being here. We wouldn't be here without our tribe. So we're so blessed to have all of you. And thank you, Elaine, our guest, for coming on, and just spectacular in your beautiful royal blue or whatever. That's my favorite color, blue. It's my power blue color. I love it. So thank you. And from the Badass Buddha, remember, be you, be real, and be extraordinary.
And from the Gladiator Guru, mi gente, remember to breathe in the beauty and breathe out the bullshit. Namaste.
Namaste.